call the meeting back to order. And lost track.
We have one amendment before we move on to our
Senator Lourey.
Mr. Chair, I've got the A85 amendment before we move off of Article 4. This is in regards to Article 4, Section 11, a CD pilot project that's already been adopted. And this A85 is a technical amendment requested by DHS. It mirrors the language in the regular CD pilot project that we already have on the books. Yeah, it's Article 4, Section 11 is what we're amending.
So Senator Lourey moves the A85 amendment to Article 4, Section 11. Is there any discussion of that? Nope. So all those in favor of the A85 amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so the amendment is adopted. And do we want to move that section then?
I think the section has already been adopted. Do I need to remove that section, or are you guys good with what we've done?
I think we're good.
They're good. All right.
Mr. Chair?
Okay, so we're moving to Article 10, and the first one I have on my list. Yeah, Representative Loeffler.
Hi. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to let you know that I was told during the break that DHS was willing to testify on Section 18 that we put on hold because there was a question about whether there'd be a cost on DHS assisting counties in discharging people from the Regional Treatment Center and Minnesota Security Hospital. So I just thought if you wanted to get that done, I was told that Ms. Jones could handle that. Otherwise, we can keep it on hold. Either one. I just want to let you know.
The Article 18 House language, or Article 4, Section 18 House language, relating to commissioners' work with counties and people coming out of the Anoka Regional Treatment Center and the State Security Hospital. And we put it on hold because we did not know if there was a cost or not.
And the department has determined there is not a cost?
That's correct, Mr. Chair. We did a brief huddle during the break, and you are correct. There is no cost.
No.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I'd move House Article 4, Section 18.
Is there any discussion of that? Representative Abler.
Well, just more a point of information or an observation. So the intent to get rid of a fiscal note is the key, the brief huddle, or during the break, or the fact you have a huddle and they don't have a real meeting. So I'm just trying to find the secret code. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
We need more breaks. So Senator Lourey has moved Section 18, Article 4. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that section is adopted.
Now, are we
Yes.
really moving to Article 10, or are we going to?
Trying that all night.
I'm turning the page. All right.
Okay, so we're in Article 10, I think, and we're moving to Senate Section 2, which is a reduction in fees for marriage and family therapists.
Chair, I'd move Senate Section 2.
Nothing in this.
And anybody opposed to reducing fees? And serious more, is there any discussion of that? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of Section 2, and this is not general fund, it's special revenue fund, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So Section 2 is adopted. Now we have a series of sections that relate to pharmacy board. And let's start with Section 3, and I think Representative Liebling is our expert on this section. Well, why doesn't staff go through it first?
Mr. Chair, Section
Ms.
3,
Aves.
Section 3 is a Senate-only provision that modifies the definition of the practice of pharmacy in terms of standing orders and protocols that a pharmacist has with a physician in order to administer vaccines and immunizations.
So, Mr. Chair.
Representative Liebling.
Mr. Chair, I think we want to go to Section 4, and we were holding on this because I had a bill on the floor, and this is Senate Section 4.
Representative Liebling, do you have an opinion on 3?
Yeah, I would not want to be adopting 3.
Okay, well, let's move on to 4 then.
And Mr. Chair, I believe kind of the deal here with Article 10, and, Senator Rosen isn't able to be here tonight, and she has been working with Representative Liebling on many of these, and I know we're close on this section, but I'd like to give her the opportunity to be here and kind of hold on those other items. She called me and asked if we could do that, but we can adopt the ones that the House is comfortable with and have a brief conversation sometime. I don't intend to get too deep in the weeds on it because we have a lot of provisions to go through, but I did tell her we wouldn't, move past those in forever for the conference committee purposes, but we'd adopt those that we could.
Well, Mr. Chair.
Representative Liebling.
Mr. Chair, I also had a discussion with Senator Rosen today on the phone, and I know, and this is a provision that I know the Department of Health is interested in, other people are, but we were not able to vet this in the House, and I did talk to her about it. I know she's interested in this. There are some things here that we can do next year when we get a chance to give them hearings, but just because of difficulties that we have in our body, it's really tough for us to take this provision, and I explained that to her, and I was pretty firm with her about it. Now, if she wants to come and try to convince the committee otherwise, that's fine. If we don't adopt it tonight, it's certainly not off the table until the bill is closed. But, I just want to let the members know, and my side, the House members know this, that I will be, I'm asking them not to take this because I believe it would create difficulties for us in taking the bill back with these provisions in it that we were not able to vet, just because, as you may know, anything having to do with vaccines, for example, can be rather controversial in the House, even if it might not seem so to others.
Senator Lourey.
So, Mr. Chair, most of Article 10 actually was in a House bill that you did have the conversations around. We've already adopted Senate Section 2. I think we're going to need to hold on Senate Sections 3, 7, and 12. And the staff, we have actually walked through everything else already, and my understanding is that all of the rest of these sections were passed in House File 1136. And so I guess, to speed things along, I would move, again, having already stepped through it with staff, I would move adoption of Senate Sections 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 17, except I guess we have some amendments.
Right.
But I mean, pretty soon, maybe we can adopt those amendments and make one motion to adopt all of those provisions and be done with all that we can do for this evening in Article 10. So I would move the A67 amendment.
Senator Lourey moves the A67 amendment.
This is a
Mr. Chair,
technical amendment to insert the word drug in front of manufacturers so that it's drug manufacturers.
And that's to the Senate Section 6. That
To Senate Section 6.
Adding to that section, just drug before manufacturers.
All right.
So Senator Lourey moves the A67 amendment to Article 10, Section 6. Is there any discussion of that? Okay, all those in favor of the A67 amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
A lot of people.
The amendment is adopted.
You good now?
Mr. Chair,
No, I don't know. Any more amendments?
Mr. Chair, there are two more amendments that are being
More
passed out.
Should be back away. Hard to get you right there. People like this now.
I'm sorry. Oh, 238 and 50. Okay. I'll move the A238 amendment.
Senator Lourey moves the A238 amendment.
This is a technical amendment.
Staff want to, or Representative Lee would.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, this amendment was added to the House language on the floor, and it's the result of some discussions with the Board of Pharmacy, and it's basically comfort language for manufacturers. And I was assured by the Board of Pharmacy that it does not weaken the protective language in the bill, because this section of law that we're changing is meant to deal with the the problem of contaminated drugs coming into the state. So,
Okay, any further discussion of that? Then all those in favor of the A238 amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So the A238 is adopted. Senator Lourey.
Mr. Chair, I move the A250 amendment. I think that's already been passed out, and I've got an oral amendment to the amendment on line 1.6. Before the word manufacturer, insert the word drug. Similar on line 1.6 of the A250 amendment. It's the same thing that we did with the A67 amendment. We inserted the word drug before manufacturer so that we're clear that we're talking about drug manufacturer. So with that oral amendment, I would move the A250 amendment with that, incorporating that oral amendment.
Representative Lee.
thank you, Mr. Chair. If members would like, I can explain this briefly. There was some language in the bill that passed off the floor that had been stricken, and it went a little too far in striking in what was stricken. So this is basically reinstating part of current law. And what this does is, under the Affordable Care Act now, there's reporting required when a drug manufacturer gives gifts, certain gifts to practitioners who are prescribers. And we like to watch that here in Minnesota. Well, under the ACA, they don't have to, that's done centrally for physicians. It's done, I guess, on the national level. And so that language was deleted, but it turns out that other practitioners who prescribe are not covered by the ACA, so we need to continue to collect that data here in Minnesota. So that is what this language is trying to do, and the language was put together by Mr. Weiberg from the Board of Pharmacy. So it basically is reinstating current law as to practitioners other than physicians.
Okay, any further discussion of the A250 amendment? Representative Abel.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to clarify for me, I'm a little rusty on this topic. I remember sitting through some hearings 6 years ago or so about this topic, and it was really controversial then. This is not controversial anymore. This is just vanilla, and nobody's going to... You remember those? You might have been there. I remember we sat in the Senate And through some very strenuous testimony. I remember that. Anyway, so that this is not controversial to anybody.
Mr. Chair.
Representative Liebling.
Thank you, and Representative Abler. That was probably some bills that I had, which is why I noticed this language when it came through. And I think it's really important to keep track of gifts that are being given from drug companies to practitioners. But this is indeed reinstating, it's really reinstating and making technical correction to current law. So this is not doing anything new, so really nobody should be upset about it unless they were hoping that these regulations were going to go away.
Okay, any further discussion of the A250? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the A250 is adopted.
Mr. Chair, I would move adoption into the Conference Committee report of Senate Sections 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 17 as amended.
Senator Lourey moves Senate Sections 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 17.
Yes, I did.
I skipped 11, plus 11 as amended. Any discussion of those? All those in favor? Representative Liebling.
Mr. Chair, could we just have those sections again?
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 17.
And Representative Liebling, those were all in your 1136. And with staff's assistance, we've brought them into sync and adopted the amendments.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion to adopt those sections signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All sections, sections 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 17 are adopted as amended.
And so, Mr. Chair, just for clarification then, for anyone tracking, the only open sections in Article 10 are Senate-only sections 3, 7, and 12. And that's all that's remaining in Article 10.
Mr. Chair.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing this.
No.
Yep. Representative Abler.
Yeah, I don't know how we're doing for time, but, you know, and I understand the controversy about the monitoring program and the House Civil Law Committees and data and all that, but it seems like Section 7 might not be so controversial, allowing samples for epileptic drugs. And we've had some experience in that myself with my son and shopping for that, and and it didn't go well for him. But understanding some of the needs of the epilepsy community and how nice it is to have a sample to try out. Some of the side effects of epileptic drugs are really severe, and some are not severe at all. Some cost like 10 times as much. And so it seems like that's something that would be, at least, not that they have to vote on it tonight, but I hope that we have witnesses that are here to testify about it if there's time.
Today?
I mean, if you wanted to. I mean, Mr. Weiberg is here, and I think some others since you're on this section. I don't know what else is left today, but I'm interested in pursuing that if it's possible. So, thank you. I'm not making a motion, I'm just asking a question.
Okay, well, I think those ones we haven't voted on tonight are with Senator Rosen's bill.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have her come in and testify on those. And I assume we can do that tomorrow, but you'll have the gavel.
Yeah, we'll get her in. I mean, if she isn't able to get here and explain it, I mean, they won't go in the conference committee report at the end of the day. I mean, so I think that while the Senate supports Section 7 as well as Sections 3 and 12, I'm not certain that it is the case that that even Section 7 is non-controversial in the House.
Okay, so I think that's what we were going to do for today. So with that, we announcement.
are not going to be coming back in at 8 a.m. in the morning. The House is going in to session at 9, and we need a little bit more time to put things together. But when we do get back together, We're not going to be in the host's sauna over here again. We're going to be in room 123 over at the Capitol, and we're going to be able to hang on to room 123. We're going to lock it when we're not meeting and be able to just set up shop in 123. Leadership has given us a deadline of midnight on Thursday to close this conference committee up. So we have a long way to go, but we'll get there.
All right.
That's right.
Did you make a motion? Oh, yeah?
Call of the chair.
All right, with that, the meeting is adjourned.